Welcome to Letters from America, a road trip podcast searching for the Swedish footprint in the United States. I'm your host, Martin Wern, and today I've parked the Volvo in Plattsburgh. And with me in the Airstream is Anders Forslund, CEO and inventor and founder of Heart Aerospace. Is it Heart Aerospace?
Yeah. That's right, Heart Aerospace.
Because we're inside. I'm not sure if you can see this, but there's a plane right there.
Yeah.
That's, in a way, yours.
Yeah, it's ours. We
Yeah.
built this.
Yeah.
So we're extremely proud of it. It's the world's first electric airliner and the world's largest electric plane.
So I need to stop you there. It's the world's first electric airliner.
Yes.
You mean first? First.
Yeah, I mean, there's been electric aircraft before.
But not in this size.
Not in this size. So there are, if you have, like, you can get a small trainer aircraft that's electric.
Yeah.
That seats like two people. There's been converted Cessna Caravans that have flown with a test pilot, but they're only like half the size of this.
Because I'm pretty amazed by these. I mean, I'm talking to a Swedish guy now.
Yeah.
And you're sort of part of the invention of building this.
Yeah.
And we're in the north part of New York State.
Yeah.
At an airport. A former army base.
We're about an hour south of Montreal, Canada.
Yeah.
And that's how you get here. Normally, our team is based in LA, in South LA, in Torrance, but we spend a lot of times here in Plattsburgh, working around the clock, getting this aircraft up in the air.
So I want to start with you.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Oh.
Where do you come from? And why on earth did you get this idea?
So I am from outside of Göteborg, Tuve, and actually growing up, I was one of those kids that loved to build things, build Legos, paper airplanes. I was really big into it. I was also very close to an airport, so I used to, like when I was at the soccer field when I was a kid, you'd see the vegan aircraft, going very, very close, and it'll be like, so very, very sort of inspired by planes early on. Also always loved to travel and all of these things. So ended up studying physics at Chalmers, went to Utah State first here in the U.S. to work on satellites and was working on space. Did my PhD, came to MIT, and one point in 2014, I was working on jet engines. So I started working on planes, and at the same time I'd bought drones, like toy drones, playing around with that in my kitchen table. And even
you like everything flying.
Yeah. And then, so, at the same time, jet engines was like hard. They're very, very mature products. It's hard to be an inventor on jet engines because everything's been invented.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't want to be spending, your work. I felt like we're at the end of the innovation cycle.
It's sort of refined already.
Yeah, it's like every time you make a jet engine 0.1% better, it costs 10 times the amount that it took for the last 0.1%. So it's like this diminishing returns. And then you have these electric motors that are super simple. They are one moving part, and it's actually the same. Like the motors that are on this aircraft is, a lot bigger than what's on a toy drone, but the principle of it is the same. The design of it is the same, and the simplicity of it is the same.
Yeah.
So when I was there at MIT, actually Elon Musk shows up and he gives a talk about the future of aviation is electric, and he says he has ideas for electric planes, and the batteries only need to get to 400 watt-hours per kilogram, and at the time they're at about 250. Now they're closing in on 400 watt-hours per kilogram, and then we're gonna, see we're gonna electrify the skies, basically.
Because that is my first question. When we first talked about this, and you sort of introduced the idea over the phone.
Yeah,
weight is my first. It must be heavy because cars. The electric cars are heavy. Have you solved that now with this?
I mean, the thing about electric flight, that this is not a plug-and-play replacement for jet engines.
No.
And this aircraft doesn't fly across the Atlantic.
No.
Not yet. And maybe we'll actually do that when we deliver it. It also has a hybrid system, so you could potentially fly it across the Atlantic, but it doesn't fly very fast.
No.
But what it does is that electric planes are not about speed, and it's not about range. It's about cost. So the first, so that's the thing. That's the realization is that what we think, there's been these eras of aviation. There's been the piston age when aviation was introduced. There's been the jet age where we sort of connected the world. And now we're entering into the electric age. And what it's about now, it's about this sort of cheap, abundant, everyday air travel. Why does it cost more to get on a plane than to get on a bus? And once you start using the same propulsion system in aerospace as you are in automotive, these things become the same. So this aircraft, the first flight of this aircraft, and this is a 30-seater aircraft, the first flight is going to cost $40 worth of fuel.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So this is like, it's nothing. And it's 7x better than a regional jet. So it means that the total operating cost of flying these things are going to be, close to half.
Wow.
Of what, the thing we're replacing. And that's the reason,
So in a way, I'm just trying to get my head around it. Like short distance flights to a low cost, which means that you can start traveling on short distance.
Exactly, yeah.
For commuting, for work, or things like
exactly.
that.
Like we have up here, we're in Plattsburgh Airport. There's an international airport here, but there's no flights. There's a few flights. There's like one or two flights. And the reason that airlines are not flying from here is not because they don't have aircraft that can fly far enough. It's because they don't have aircraft that can fly cheaply enough.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. And that has become worse and worse. We've seen with the regional jets that more and more communities have lost service. So for the U.S., for instance, there's 5,000 airports just like this one. And there's only 200 of them that have 99% of the traffic. So this is, kind of important infrastructure, and it's a great opportunity for a company to come and say, hey, we're going to slash costs almost to half. And that's just a starting point, and open up all of these connectivities. So,
is that the goal?
Yeah. So it's to create this new era of cheap, abundant air travel.
I need to wrap my head around it because this is just, in a way, for me, it's mind-blowing. It's new to me. You've been working on this for how long now?
For 7 years.
Yeah.
Or maybe even longer.
So your head is sort of deep into it.
Yeah. I have
This is new to me. So the vision here is to get a lot of these on short distances. Is that why you're here in America? Because you mentioned the amount of airports.
I mean, actually, this is an idea that came, and I used to do a lot of this in Sweden, and we used to have a team in Sweden and all these things. And Norway's been one of those countries that has said they want electric flights early on. They actually say they want all their domestic flights to be electric by 2040. But Norway has 50 airports, and the US has 5,000.
Yeah.
So this is
the obvious market.
Yeah, this is the obvious market. And so what happened with us was we got United Airlines to write an order for 100 aircraft.
Oh, wow.
So, and we have Air Canada, and, also did an order for 30 aircraft, invested in the company. United has invested in the company. So they really believe in this product, and they want this product. So it's been a remarkable thing. What's been missing is just to show that the plane works and that it flies.
We're leading up to that because are you nervous? Because you haven't really taken off yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully when we release this, we will have flown. Yes, we're just weeks away from takeoff. This aircraft is, as you see, there's not a lot of people working on it right now. It's all but done. We have some last-minute adjustments, some what's called an FAA approval.
I've seen the propeller in a box.
Yeah. The propellers have gone off and on. But we have been out taxiing on the runway, where you go down on a runway without taking off.
But he has never left ground yet.
It has not left the ground yet. So
how does that feel after 7 years?
I mean, it's.
Have you had a smaller version of it?
Yeah, we've flown like a subscale that was, kind of our RC plane, like 5 meter wingspan thing, which was cool. And that was 5 years ago or something. But this time it's with a pilot in here, and it's completely different physics. It's completely different, safety. Safety becomes extremely important, and there's regulation and all these things. So it's.
But how do you prepare for something like that? I mean, there's a natural cause of that you need a lot of time to build it. There's a lot of engineering going on, and also while you're doing that, the sort of technique of doing it improves while you're doing it.
Yeah. So part.
You're 7 years in. I think you said we're about 3-4 weeks from takeoff.
Yeah.
And I mean, how do you cope with that for one thing, and also how do you prepare for all of that to sort of do it in theory?
Yeah.
Not trying it.
So that was actually something that there's this, actually, speaking of Swedes in the US, what we're doing is we're embracing a sort of school of thought that's coming from one of the most, to me, one of my biggest heroes, and a big Swedish American called Kelly Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And Kelly Johnson was born in Michigan, but his parents were from Malmö.
Mm-hmm.
And he became, like, I think, the dominant kind of plane builder of the early 21st century. He built the world's fastest plane. So actually, it's not earliest. This is like 50s, 60s. But he built a secret aircraft that flew Mach 3.2. It's called the Blackbird. My favorite aircraft. They built the stealth fighter. They built the U-2 bomber. Like all of these things. And what he pioneered.
A Swede.
He was a Swedish American.
So you're walking in big footsteps.
I mean, there's so many Swedish Americans in the, there's Charles Lindbergh, who flew across the Atlantic. There's Buzz Aldrin, who landed on the moon.
Yeah, you're right.
There's
a lot of flying Swedes.
We've made a big impact,
There's a big thing on your shoulder. Or
or
maybe reverse, you're standing on giants.
We're certainly standing on giants, and we're trying, but what he created in LA was called the Lockheed Skunk Works. So this is, Skunk Works now is an expression, but he kind of coined that expression. And it was this idea of a small team of extremely talented people working extremely fast and working in a different way than traditional aerospace organizations. And how he created that organization became... he had a lot of success with that, and it became the blueprint from Silicon Valley. And it became, I think, a really big inspiration for people like Elon Musk when they started building SpaceX. So he formed the philosophy. And
what is the philosophy?
I mean, he wrote down, he has 14 rules, and then he has about 20 more rules, 14 public rules, and then there's 20 more rules that he puts in his book. So there's about 34 rules.
Oh, yeah.
And they are things like, have a team that's 1/10 the size of a typical team, but have them being really, really strong.
Oh.
Have the designer create extreme ownership amongst the engineer, and have the product manager have extreme ownership. Don't have somebody owns something. Make everybody a system engineer. So you don't if somebody's charge of, I don't know, battery in this aircraft, they also have to understand motors.
Oh, yeah.
They also have to understand actuators. It's not, and that's very, very different from legacy aerospace companies, because it's this is my part, this is your part, throw it over the fence. But he was everybody's a systems engineer, but you're ultimately responsible for this.
So to create a sort of a small community that is building it together.
Exactly.
Like old school teamwork.
Exactly. And it's also this idea that don't finish all the paperwork before you start. So you start building before you're done.
Just jump in.
Jump in because feedback beats planning.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot of things wrong building this aircraft. But if we were trying to get everything right, we didn't have the knowledge. Generally, you don't have the knowledge on how this aircraft is going to look when you start it, because you're going to learn. We're trying to build a company, and there's never been an electric aircraft company before that is building something this scale. So you kind of have to allow yourself to fail. So one of his principles is allow for mistakes. The only thing you don't allow for people to conceal mistakes. It's okay to make a mistake. It's not okay to conceal the mistake.
No.
Because the mistakes is how we learn. So I think that's something that
This is like a quick course in self-management.
Yeah. It's super inspiring, and that's what my background is really what's called like product development. So I'm not when it comes to all these disciplines, you know, there's aerodynamics, there's structures, there's electronics, there's propulsion. I'm a little bit of a duck, you know. I know how to swim a little bit, I know how to walk, and I know how to fly a little bit, but I'm not like an expert in anything. But
that's a good comparison.
But yeah, what I'm really passionate about is like I know enough of these things to find somebody that is exceptional in all of these domains. And what we have right now is just an exceptional team. I mean, this team could pretty much fit in this aircraft, which is, you know, we're about 40 people. And
everybody knows what's going on everywhere.
Everybody, it sort of forces everything. You know, it forces the most simple solution. When you have, and the other part of it is this vertical integration, that you're actually building it yourself. You're not outsourcing it to a vendor or supplier. So what's happened with kind of traditional aerospace is that in the 1980s, you know, this was this kind of, I don't know if it's Jack Welch school of thought or something, like you should only focus on the things that make the most revenue and, you know, benefits your shareholders the most, and everything else you should outsource to somebody else. So the legacy industry went on this kind of fool's errand of trying to build an aircraft in as many places as possible, and which was, you know, just ultimately led to delays. And but it was really kind of spreadsheet driven and financially driven rather than engineering driven. So you need to. What we're trying to do is build this sort of engineering culture driven company.
Have you? Because you mentioned earlier that the jet engine, as you saw it when you were studying and doing it, has sort of reached its peak. It was small steps in to refine it. Is there things that you've discovered aerodynamically? That is, or is that also just peak, the knowledge of that? Or have you discovered things on the construction of the plane besides the batteries and all that?
Oh man, we have done so many redesigns of this aircraft. I would say we're almost, you know, testing the patience of our investors. But yeah, I think that's, to me, it's something I think was also like part of it. Like you're doing these things to learn. It's really about building an engineering product that delivers a revolutionary economics, right? Like, so it's using Our mission for Heart is like, how do we use technology? How do we use engineering to lower the cost of air travel? Because that's how we get more people in the air, more people flying, and obviously also with zero emissions.
But do we need more people flying, really?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you remove the emissions from aviation, it becomes the most sustainable way of transport.
Oh yeah,
because you don't need roads.
You don't need roads.
You're not going to hit a bunch of deer on the way. You know, like it's very like
it's low risk also, even though you're flying.
Yeah, it's very safe. I mean, you don't need roads and bridges and all of these things. You're not interfering with the natural environment. I mean, looking at your car here, you know, that car has about 500 kilograms of weight that is only for the event of you crashing the car to save your life. So it's like half a ton that you're.
That's an engineer talking.
Yeah. But it's crazy.
I never even thought about.
Yeah, so you're driving around with half a ton every day, just so in the
just to save me.
Just to save. I mean, which is good. I mean,
that's good.
We care about you,
from that perspective.
But yeah, airplanes don't need that because we don't have moose running up on the road, or we don't have traffic. Like we deal with safety in a different way. So we build very lightweight structures, and we fly in the air.
Obviously, you thought about that, but I'm new to this plane. So if you go up and the batteries dies when you travel, what happens? What's your emergency exit for that?
So we need. So the thing with this, we talked a lot about electric, but actually this aircraft now is all electric. But when it's going to fly in commercial service, it's going to have a hybrid range extender.
Okay.
And the reason for that is it's not that the battery will die. We know battery technology very well, and we're going to plan for that. It's kind of as rare as an aircraft running out of fuel. You plan for it. But it might be some battery malfunction or something like that. But ultimately, it's that things can happen on your way to land. There could be there could be another plane on the runway, or there could be a fire on the runway where you're landing, or there could be weather. So 1 in about 1,000 flights gets diverted to another airport. So
it's that few.
Yeah. It's just 1 in 1,000, and
wow.
So you can't be like running out of batteries, because then you're not going to have a place to revert to. So that's why you need a hybrid range extender, so that you can turn that on. And carrying batteries for those reserve requirements becomes very heavy. So a hybrid system is actually the most, it's most pure play, because you'll get the longest range with an electric system. When you go into a plane today and you sit in the, you go in and sit in an aircraft before it takes off, and you're sitting at the gate, basically. And, the engines are off, but you hear this noise in this aircraft. What's that? It's that.
What is that?
Yeah, what's that? And if you look also in the back of an airplane, you see that there's a small exhaust pipe on the very tail. That's something called an APU, an auxiliary power unit. And it's like a small jet engine, basically a small turbine. But instead of having a propeller or like a jet blade on it, it has a generator. So it generates electricity for your things like your ventilation system when you're sitting there, but also
the lights,
lights, but also the critical functions like the avionics and the flight controls. So if you lose both engines, you're generating some electricity from the engines, but if you lose them, you should also be able to fly the plane. Shouldn't just go dark, right? So
of course, everything goes black.
Yeah, exactly. So those systems are already there. So what we're basically doing is we're building a version of that system that is powerful enough for this size aircraft to actually extend the cruise, to power the plane and extend the cruise phase of the aircraft.
Okay.
It's actually one of the hardest pieces of building the aircraft, but it's not something that
Why
has
is that?
It's just like jet engines are complex, and it has a very limited,
So even that thing, that the spare tank on this is a jet engine.
Exactly.
A small jet engine.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can fly up to 500 miles or 800 kilometers with that thing, plus then the reserve rules of being in the air about an hour and a half more as well. And that also allows you to deliver this aircraft. So you could potentially fly it across the Atlantic. You just have to put a bladder, what's it called, like a fuel tank inside of the fuselage, and then you can fly it across the Atlantic.
Oh, yeah. But that's also the way to transport planes.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't have a plane transport a plane.
So sometimes I think about how we're going to fly. Yeah, you have a map here. You
have a map here. You can use that if you want.
Yeah. So
we're up here.
Yeah, we're here in Ottawa. Yeah, or not in Ottawa. Sorry, we're in Montreal.
We're in the Americas.
We're in the American side of it. So we're in Plattsburgh, by Lake,
just south of the border of Canada.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh man,
this leads into the final part of our conversation.
Yeah,
we're talking about a flying footprint. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
And I'm very impressed with what you're doing. We're up here.
Yeah.
And you're from Gothenburg.
Yeah.
But you live in the United States.
Yeah.
Where is home?
Oh, wow. Home is where my wife and kids are.
Okay, and that is?
Right now it's in Sweden. They're home for the summer. But generally...
In the south part of Sweden?
Yeah. They're in Alingsås, roughly. But, we live in LA, so that's, they're actually going to...
You said Sweden. The first thing.
Yeah, so right now
I'm putting you on Sweden.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Can I get your signature here? Do you want to change your mind? You're the first one to change your mind.
I will. I mean, the truth is that I live in LA and I love it, but to me, Sweden is the most beautiful. It's the best place in the world to be for 3 months of the year. Like a lot of Swedes in LA feel this way, and then it's pretty nice to be in LA in November. But yeah.
Are you changing your mind?
I
asked about home.
Right now, my family is in Sweden, so I'll be home in Sweden. That's good.
I want your signature there.
Oh,
I got a follow-up question also. This road trip podcast is called Letters from America.
Yeah.
And we're here now.
Yeah.
So if you were to write a letter from where we are now to home.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Oh man. Well, we have a face. We're chatting a lot, so it's. But man, what would I say? I mean, I would say. I mean, I'm just. First of all, like my wife has been with me since day one. We founded the company together. We were started a Y Combinator together. And she's, we've also started a family together in this journey.
Wow.
And right now, I think she's carrying the brunt of it, having our 3 boys, taking care of them. So I would just,
Thank you.
Thank you. That's probably what I would say.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And thank you, Anders, for joining me in the trailer.
Yeah, thank you.
Very nice talking to you. I'm looking forward to hear more about the first flight. It's going to be excellent.
It's gonna be something else.
It's going to be something else. It's
yeah.
going to be excellent. I wish you all the best.
All right, perfect. Are you going to play anything for us on the guitar?
Maybe not today.
All right.
You have listened to Letters from America, a weekly road trip podcast celebrating the Swedish heritage in the United States. Produced in collaboration with the Embassy of Sweden in Washington, D.C., Volvo Cars USA, Volvo Trucks USA, and Airstream.